It is not the movement of the clock that produces the newness of life. It is the movement in your mind.
Every time you dedicate yourself, this is my year, I'm gonna make it happen, you don't make it happen. Not because you can't do it, but you can't outlast your old you long enough to get to your new you.
What stops us from making the changes that we need in our behavior, in our situation, it's the mind.
You gotta get tired of losing.
You have got to get to a point where you say, I'm sick and tired of living like this. I have had it. I had it borrowing money from people. I'd had it living like a cringing animal. When you don't have any money, it runs your blood pressure up.
I'm tired of doing what I used to do. If I always do what I've always done, I'll always be where I've always been.
I'm not going to live like this anymore. No, there's got to be more for me.
I got tired of losing. I got tired of coming up short. I got tired. I see other people winning and I'm not winning, and I want to be a winner, and I'm tired. And I got tired, y'all, so I did something about it. I woke up every day and started grinding. I was tired.
That's when people go out and strike out on their dreams. And let me tell you something, you deserve it. There is more to your life than you've been living. You deserve it.
No more dreaming. Dreaming is over. I need specifics. What are you doing on Monday? What are you doing on Tuesday? What are you doing on Wednesday? You need to be very specific. It's time to put your pieces together of your puzzle. Ain't nobody stopping you but you. You not average, stop acting like it. You not average. Why you being average? You not average. Why you being good when you not good? You great. You phenomenal. When you gonna step up to the plate? This is not a year that you're gonna be doing a lot of talking. We're not dreaming no more. We're not wishing no more. We're not watching other people ride the ride no more. This is the year for grinding.
You want it, and you're going to go all out to have it. I'm going to do something about this situation. How are you going to make it? I don't know, but I will.
I don't need a bear to chase me to get up in the morning. I don't sleep in. If I slept in, it's because I worked so hard the day before that I was tired. What do you need to motivate you? Are you not enough? Is your potential not enough? Is your greatness not enough? You're putting in work, and just because you can't see the results, you want to quit or give up. I ain't never quit. I ain't never give up. I ain't never give in. I just kept grinding. If you keep going, you're going to break through. The only people that don't break through are the people who scoreboard watching. Wake up every single day, and if the opportunity to work out is there, work out. If the opportunity is there to read, read. But whatever you do, wake up every single day and know that you should work as if everything depends on you and do whatever it takes. Let's go. Stop playing with it. Stop telling me I don't got time. Make it work. Fix it. Let's go. You gotta go all in.
If you want things to get better, you got to get better. If you want things to change, you got to change. But you got to do it deliberately and consciously. You've got to constantly find a way to feed that mind, something that's got strategy in it.
Knowledge is not power. Execution trumps knowledge every day of the week. Turn your shoulds into musts. Because everybody's got a list of shoulds, don't they? I should lose weight. I should go on a diet. I should make more phone calls. I should. You want to create results. And those results come when you raise your standard. You got to turn the shoulds into musts. Discomfort is your friend, because discomfort may move you to actually go for the life you deserve.
You have a chance to control your destiny. Come on, let's go. Take ownership. What am I going to do about it? And mental toughness says, not only do I climb that doggone mountain, I enjoy climbing the mountain. I get a kick out the mountain. I get a kick out the weights. I get a kick out of going up against the #1 team. I get a kick out of going into the 6th, 7th week. I get a kick out of fatigue. I get a kick out of the grind. I get a kick out of it. You take advantage of this opportunity. You let everything else go. You eat different. You study different. You practice different. I don't know how much longer I got, so I got to do it while I can. I might not be able to do this at 65, 75, but I can do it now. You will never regret making a sacrifice, ever.
What is up, everybody? It is your friend Chris Luck and founder of AMBSDR.com. I hope you all enjoyed that little motivational clip to kind of start off our challenge. I'm looking at the chat right now and I see some of you were wondering, looks like Lenny said sounded like Tony Robbins. So there was actually several different speakers in that video. And if you go to YouTube And if you just search for Ben Lionel Scott, it's a friend of mine that actually he creates the videos like you just saw, where they're just like motivational compilation videos. And out of all of the different motivational videos that are out there, that his specifically are the ones that have really like touched me in a great way, and has really made me think about certain things. And I used to, years ago, before I would start doing like a live training, I always included his videos. I like handpicked certain ones that spoke directly to me, that I wanted to kind of speak to you about what the topic was all going to be about that day. So about grinding, about not giving up, about basically pushing through whenever you feel like you just want to give up, that kind of stuff. And he's got hundreds of them. He has like, I think 300 and something videos on YouTube. He has a TikTok channel. He has all kinds of stuff. So he's really blown up as like a compilation producer of videos like that. So if you want, you can always, Meg Ryan posted it in the chat. It's Ben Lionel Scott, and incredible guy. So just big shout out to Ben for having videos like that, and then really inspiring people with his videos. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of start things off with that. And without further ado, a lot of you were really wondering, like, what is this challenge going to be about? Because I've never done a 5-day challenge. Like, I've never created a 5-day challenge for any of the stuff that I do, like for Ambassador or anything like that. But I have been a part of challenges before, like, 5-day challenges, 7-day challenges, 30-day challenges. And they've been really inspiring and have really kind of helped me break through big kind of mental roadblocks, and in some challenges that are like more workout type challenges, like physical roadblocks. Pretty much starting off the new year, a lot of people have goals, they have ambitions, they've got things that they want to do, that they want to accomplish, this year, that maybe they wanted to accomplish the previous year but didn't. And it's one thing to be able to just kind of have an idea of what it is you want to do, but it's another thing to kind of just have an idea, but then have a full kind of roadmap and a plan on how to execute on what it is that you want to do. And that's what a challenge is really good for, because sure, you can log into Ambassador and go through the 6-week certification. Maybe you've gone through the whole thing. Maybe you've gone through part of it. Maybe you haven't even started it yet. And you could go through that kind of stuff, but it's, and you can go through all the new courses that I pump out all the time inside Ambassador. But it's kind of nice every once in a while to just kind of get a reset, where, in life, when people, let's say they drink too much or they eat too bad, and then they want to go on like these detoxes and cleanses and things like that. Because what that's doing is really like resetting your body, right? Well, I feel like challenges, if done specifically with a very specific format and fashion, it can kind of reset just everything for you for whatever specific task is at hand. So with that being said, let's go ahead and I'm going to share my computer screen. And just to make sure that you can all see my screen, you should be able to see it says Clarity Challenge. And just go ahead and let me know in the chat if you can see my screen. And if you're excited about this, feel free to hit like on this live stream, so I know that you're excited about the topic, because I haven't revealed the topic until just now. So this is the topic. It's all about getting clarity for 2023. And also, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to the Ambassador YouTube channel, so when the new challenges come up in the future, or even the other days of this challenge, because this is a 5-day challenge, you will get notified, about that through YouTube. Because, I can email you all day long, but we all know, like, sometimes email just doesn't make it through. Sometimes, like for me, I usually have 400 to 500 emails every morning in my inbox, and sometimes I just kind of go through like a mass, delete, or send to junk. And sometimes people email me, and I miss the emails because I'm on this like the warpath of just getting through all the emails. So that's why I always say, when you subscribe to the YouTube channel, it's nice, because then you'll get notified, through YouTube. It's just outside of, the actual, the world of email. So thank you for all the yeses that are coming in. Thank you, Lynn, saying loud and clear, love the topic. Thank you, Larima, by saying very excited. I just hit the like. Thank you, Jackie, saying yes and done. Thank you, Pete, by saying very curious. So, and S. Pratt says, I love the theme. Thanks for the emojis too, by the way. I love seeing all that in the chat. So, and yes, since this is a Notion document, for some of you that I like to use Notion, it really helps me with clarity on sticking to a very specific format when I'm teaching you. and sharing new things with you. I always use Notion documents because it's kind of interactive where, I can scroll down, I can like expand and contract like what we're going to be talking about. And when we're done with the whole 5-day challenge, I'm not going to share it with you like starting right out of the gate, but when we're done with the entire 5-day challenge, I will give you a link to this Notion document. So you can go back. Don't feel like you have to take notes and write everything down and try to keep up with me, because it's probably going to be impossible. So just know that what you're seeing right now on your screen, I will give you a link to it on day 5, so you can have it on for yourself, and you can go back and kind of go through everything, and let me be the one to take all the notes for you and add links and everything for you in this Notion document, knowing that you can just sit back, enjoy it. If you want to take some of your own notes, what I do recommend doing whenever you are going through something like this, like any of my trainings, for example, I recommend like having maybe a notepad or something off to the side. And if you do want to take notes along with me, I recommend taking notes almost in the sense of like they're reminders for you about certain things, or things that you want to take action on based off of what you see on your screen. Because everything you're going to see on your screen, you're going to get. So you don't have to write down what you're seeing on your screen, but think about things that you can do that it like is action items that you could take on what you're about to see. So, Esprat, I'm right there with you. She says, what did she say? How did I live without Notion before? I'm the same way. When I discuss, now there's so many different things that you can do with Notion. Unfortunately, I don't use probably 95% of what Notion can do. I just use Notion for what you see on your screen right now, which is just kind of keeping tabs on where I'm at and what I need to do. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started with day 1, which, just so you know too, these YouTube, I'm doing these on live streams, right? Like, and these are private live streams. So everyone that you see that is here is, in the Ambassador family. This isn't like this is unpublished, which means, or unlisted, I guess you could say, which means that this live stream is not being broadcasted all over YouTube. So we're not going to get anybody that is like outside our world of ambassadors on our live streams. So it's still very private and intimate in the sense that it's all of us, right? So we all know each other. You probably all can recognize each other's names, and there's so many, there's so many great comments take some time when you're listening to me and just kind of keep an eye on the comments that are coming through if you're watching the live chat. Like Mariah says, I'm very grateful about Chris' experience in teaching, but I need a push to get through and see results I've subscribed for. And that's what this is all about. And that's what this whole clarity challenge is all about. So to start off, do me a favor. And we did this like in the countdown leading up to, going live today. But if you can, introduce yourself in the live chat by very simple, just say let me know your name, where are you from, and why are you here? So I'll tell you right now. So my name is Chris Luck, and I'm from Southern Illinois. I'm actually in a very small town in Illinois. It's kind of outside of St. Louis, Missouri. So kind of like right on the border between Illinois and St. Louis. And I'm here because not only do I want to give you clarity going into 2023 with your whole trajectory of the direction you're probably on as a brand ambassador, what you want to accomplish, but when I put together when I put together things like this in any type of training, it brings clarity for me on what it is that I'm doing. And it just kind of helps kind of bring me back to life and ground me on why I'm here and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So just to kind of, again, we're all family here, right? So I just want to go through the chat. I'm going to scroll up to right when I asked that. And Diane says, love your parties, Chris. I truly appreciate you. Thank you very much, Diane. Louise says from Austin, Texas, home of the Jasper crew. So Jasper.ai is that's actually the headquarters of where they're at. And I was there recently, by the way, and love Austin. Fiona is from Chicago, and she is here for this awesome challenge. Oh, I missed. There you go. Forgot to actually press the button to pull her up. We have Ron that is from Colorado, and he says he is here for passive income. Diane says I froze for a while. I apologize. Let me make sure I don't have my Wi-Fi on. No, I don't have my Wi-Fi on. So if I do freeze, I do apologize. My daughters are actually home from, it's a snow day right now. So it's like all snow and ice outside my window when I look outside my home office, and they're home from school. So they're probably playing Fortnite, or they're on their iPads, or they're watching Netflix, or doing something, maybe all of the above. So I do apologize if I glitch every now and then. That's the big ups and downs of working from home. We have from Elaine from Boulder City, Nevada, and she's just here to learn more, and I love it We have Jonathan from Charlotte, North Carolina. We have Eli from Israel that's here to learn. We have Jonathan Gilbert in Tennessee near Nashville, and he needs to get remotivated and back to work. And that is exactly what this live stream is all about here today, is to bring that motivation back to everybody. We have Heather with Hoots Reviews from St. Louis. She has faith in the Ambassador program. Can't figure out how to set up the Ghost website with documentation. We will, when we actually get to day 3, which is going to be all about simplification and simplifying, I'll walk you through that. So don't worry about that. We have Amanda from the UK, and we have Katrina from Slovenia. She's looking to learn great stuff. So it's good. A lot of you here are looking to learn, which is awesome, because that's kind of what this is all about, is not only restating what I've already taught, but learning kind of not really anything too new, but I'm going to simplify things in a way for you in this challenge where it just brings extreme clarity to what it is that you're doing, and just really what I've been doing for the last 24 years of my life now. And which it can get really complicated because I taught it across 6 weeks with a certification program, but it can actually be simplified down into literally one day if I really want to simplify it. And that is what I'm going to push for day 3 on this whole 5-day challenge, is the whole simplify part. But before we actually get into the real, like down into the nuts and bolts and like showing how to set up blogs and all that kind of stuff, and just simplifying everything, we need to start with today, which is day 1, which is to identify just really, again, why you're here. And a lot of you are saying in the chat, and we'll go back and we can, I'll make sure the live chat with YouTube, when I clip out the beginning, the countdown timer, sometimes the live chat is intact, sometimes it is not. So I do recommend taking the time to show up for these live if possible, because then you can get to participate in the live chat, and I can get to see you, and you can all see each other, and this live chat's just amazing. Vanette says clarity comes with commitment. Let's do this. I'd love it. So good. So let's go ahead and just get into day 1. All right. So as you can see, day 1 is all, I'm titling each day something very simple. So day 1 is to identify, day 2 is to clarify, day 3 is to simplify, day 4 is to magnify, and day 5 is to unify. So with day 1, that's identify. Now today is going to be kind of short probably, because I'm going to have an assignment for you at the end of each day, because this is all about taking action and committing yourself, right? And actually doing what it is that you're here to do, which is to get clarity for this year. So if you don't need clarity on anything, then this challenge probably isn't going to be for you. But me personally, I need clarity all the time. And this is going to really help me in a big way. And I think it's going to help you too. So these days are going to, like, your assignments are going to be really simple. Like the assignment for today, super simple. But as the days go on, the live streams are probably going to get a little bit longer and a little bit longer, with a little bit more and more of an assignment to do, because we're going to kind of build up for it. It's like, remember back when you were in school, and like grade school and middle school and high school, like when the first day of school to start off the new year, you really don't have a lot of homework to do. You're like, oh, this is cool. Like you're making friends, you're having fun. You're all starting on the same level, but then as the year goes on, the homework gets a little harder. The days seem like they get a little longer, and then some people drop out completely of school because it's too hard for them. So that's probably going to happen here. We have right now, I'm looking at the live stats. We have about 330 of you on live, which is great, knowing that this isn't, again, some just massive blast for a live stream. This is 330 of you that are actually ambassadors, that are in the ambassador family. So let's go ahead and just dive for starting off with the unfortunate reality, okay? So for the unfortunate reality, 38.5% of US adults, they set goals every January. I know I set goals every January. Now, 23% out of the 38.5%, they quit in their first week, okay? And 35% make it past the first month, and only 9% successfully actually keep their goal. Now, notice I didn't say they reached their goal, they kept their goal, and they stayed with their goal throughout the entire year. So if you're someone that has set goals in the past, whether it be personal goals or business goals, life goals, relationship goals, and you don't stick with it by the end of the year, and you're like, oh man, that goal, I totally forgot about my goal. You're not alone. Like only 9% actually keep their goal. And then out of the 9%, very probably less than 1%, I would say, even reach their goal, because sometimes people set their goals too high or they set them too big and it's almost unattainable. It's like someone that wants to lose weight, instead of saying I'm going to lose 100 pounds, by April, that's pretty unrealistic. And a lot of people aren't going to hit that goal. So a lot of people are setting goals bigger than they can really accomplish. And then that's why they give up on it, because they don't see the results, early on in setting the goal. And then they just kind of give up on it and then forget. And then, by the end of the year, they feel like a failure because they set the goal too high in the first place. And they didn't have anything to hold them accountable throughout the entire year, which we're going to talk about that. And by the way, I'm here for you every day, every week, every month this year to hold you accountable and always be there for you. So that's one of the big benefits of having a goal is having one of the big things of having a goal is having someone there to be accountable and hold you accountable. And you can, they can push you whenever you need to be pushed, to kind of keep you moving forward. So let me know in the chat, what was your goal for last year? It could be anything. It could be business, personal, and let me know, what was your goal? Did you put in the work? Let me know, what went well, what went wrong? Did you have anyone helping you? So I probably should have thought of this ahead of time, because this is usually where I have some notes off to the side where then I can tell you a story about a goal that I set. So I will say that at the very beginning of last year, that this was more of a personal goal of mine. So at the very beginning of last year, I was 278 pounds and I'm 5'10", and I was extremely not in the ballpark of where I wanted to be weight wise. And I started off the year where I was like, I'm going to eat cleaner. I'm going to stop drinking beer. I'm going to stop drinking bourbon on the weekends with my friends. And then I didn't have anyone hold me accountable. I just kind of was like, this is what I'm going to do. Right. And it lasted about 2.5 weeks. And then after the 2.5 weeks, I just kind of went back to my old habits. And then one day I was at the gym and there was a friend of mine I haven't seen for probably 4 or 5 months. And he was about the same size as I was at the time, like around 270, 280 pounds. And again, we're bigger guys. And I've always been on the bigger end most of my life. And then when I saw him in the gym after a few months, he looked like a completely different person. I almost didn't even recognize him. And I went up to him. I was like, dude, his name's JR. And I said, JR, what did you do? How are you, what kind of workout plan are you on? And why haven't I seen you in a few months? He's like, dude, so I'm 41 and he's 40. And then he was like, dude, as soon as I hit 38, I noticed I was, no matter how hard I worked and what I ate, I just kept putting on weight, which is exactly what was going on with me. And he said, I just went and got my blood work. And then he got a full panel. So he saw where all of his levels were with everything. And then he had a friend of his as a doctor, and his doctor basically went through all of his blood work and then helped him kind of tweak certain things throughout his regimen and all that kind of stuff to dial in his numbers. So it was really scientific on what it is that he needed to do that he would have never have known if he didn't get his blood work. So he was like, Chris, you need to start with your blood work and just see where you're at. If you don't know, and if it's getting worse and worse for you weight wise, and you're doing everything, you're trying to make changes, start with your blood work. So what did I do? I went to his friend, which is now my best friend that I actually just came back when I went on the Montana ski trip with my family, and I went with another family. It was actually that family. So this guy's now my best friend too. He's a doctor and did my blood work, and all of my numbers were off. I'm not going to go into everything that was off because you probably don't care, but I'll just say that all my numbers were off. And then he held me accountable and followed up with me every week to make sure that I got back on track. And then every couple months we would get a new blood panel just to make sure that I was on the right track. So if I didn't, number one, identify what my big problem was, and then number two, find someone that can actually diagnose my issue and then follow up with me. And I didn't want to get on prescriptions or medications or anything like that. So I didn't do any medications or anything to turn my numbers around. It was all more holistic type stuff. But now I'm down to 219. So it took about a year, but I stuck with it, and just sticking with it, having someone accountable, having someone that is an expert that can be by your side. And I had a million questions along the way when I was going through the process of trying to figure out what it is I need to do. It was incredible that he was always there. So what he did for me on a personal level and completely changed my life. And then I feel like a totally different person now at 219 than I was at 278. I want to do that for other people. But unfortunately, I'm not like a nutritionist and a scientist and someone that can read your blood work, but I can definitely help you on a business standpoint and essentially like help you, make more money. The money can ultimately give you a much better life. So let me go, and sorry for that like long story. I wasn't even planning on telling you that story. I've never even told anyone that story before. A lot of people are always just asking, what did I do to change my life physically? And anyway, that is it. So let's go ahead and take a look here. So Bradley Hoover says Bradley wants to start a new business as an entrepreneur and some better health. And I'll tell you right now, when you start going down the route of like trying to get healthier, and then you have, all this new stuff you can do with blood work and monitoring systems and, hormone replacement therapy and testosterone and all this stuff, it can get expensive really quickly. There's peptides, there's all kinds of stuff. And the good thing is being an entrepreneur and having your own business. And when you make enough money, all of that stuff, it doesn't matter what the price is, because the money that you make, when you get to a point where you don't have to worry about how much things cost anymore, you can do whatever you want, which money can buy you better health because you can attach yourself to the right people that can help you. Zora says, quitting my 9-to-5 and achieve freedom and financial freedom. So she signed up for Ambassador, which is awesome. And we're super glad to have you in our family. And I love seeing you on the live streams all the time, Zora. You're very inspiring, and everyone can, probably also say the same thing, that I appreciate all the positivity that you bring into the live chats. Steve Hall says, my goal was to build and own an amazing, profitable, fulfilling business, doing what I love on my own terms. In the end, he accomplished absolutely nothing. And you're not alone, Steve. I'm sure there's a lot of people here that can also say the same thing. And that's usually the reason why they start off and they have this dream of doing a business and they accomplish nothing, is because usually what people do, they find a course or someone someone like me, that will put together a program and say, I will help you and educate you to do what I've been able to do for more than half of my life. But then you invest in this course, and then that person just disappears. You'll never even be able to talk to them because usually the courses that people sell is not courses that will even help you with anything, because the person teaching the course probably didn't even do what they're teaching for themselves in the first place. And that's why they're not there to answer questions. There's no community around courses because usually what they're teaching doesn't even work, or it might work, but they don't know if it does or not. So it's not your fault if you've invested in things from other people in the past and it just hasn't worked out. Thank you for all the positivity that was coming in from whenever I was telling my story. So Hoots Review says, I love hanging out with you guys. We love hanging out with you. Chad says, goals to start a business. Yes, I put in the work. I joined Ambassador, slow start by myself. And you're not alone at all, Chad, because we have about 3,200 people now that are inside Ambassador, that are like active members inside the Ambassador community. And just about everybody is on their own, especially in the beginning, because they're like, you're in the community, so you're around other people. However, you're alone in the sense that you are doing it by yourself. So you are putting in the work. But the good thing is that, we care about you, and we're not going to let you down, and we're always going to be there to help you if there's anything that you need along the way. Okay, so awesome for all of you just opening up in the chat. I wish I could pull up all of your individual comments, but we'd probably be here for 4 hours just reading through everyone's goals and what went well or what went wrong. So let's go ahead and just get into, again, the whole day today is about identifying like what it is you want to do this year, but not necessarily on a sense of a personal goal, a personal health goal, for instance, or a relationship goal, because I'm not a health or relationship coach, but what I can be is your mentor and friend in helping you build a business that can, help you find, the best mentors in all those other industries if you want. So what I want to do right now is talk about like, what is your goal for this year? Okay. So what I mean by that is I want you to make it realistic, and right now is a good time where if you do want to write stuff down, this is when you would want to write some stuff down. So you want to make your goal realistic and give yourself the whole year to accomplish the goal, because together, what we're going to do inside Ambassador is we're going to work on your goal together. And I'm going to, I'll put my goal out there, and then we'll work on it together, inside Ambassador. So what I need you to do though is be super specific. And I want you to let me know in the chat, like, what is your goal at the end of the day, for 2023? Like, is your goal to make more money? And when I say be specific, like, let me know, like, how much money do you want to make? And then if your goal is to quit your job, well, what's required for you to quit your job? If your goal is to pay off your bills, well, what is the exact amount you need to pay off your bills? So notice everything when I say this, and this is where a lot of people like to agree to disagree with me, is everything really comes down to money. It does. And there's a lot of people out there that beg to differ that like money doesn't bring happiness. Like money can't buy you happiness, right? You probably hear people say that. You might even believe that yourself. And I want to talk about that because I am very money driven, especially like early on. When I do anything that's business related, you don't build a business just because you love building businesses. Like I don't know anyone that builds a business just because they love building businesses. What they do is they build a business so it can make them enough money that's going to give them the ability to live the life that they really want to live. So if you really think about money, and this was a game changer for me when I thought about this, is that like money really solves everything for you, right? So if you think about it, like money, it does everything. Money gets you out of problems. Money gives you food. Money gives you water. Money gives you housing. Money gives you shelter. Money gives you cars. Money gives you clothes and shoes. Money gives you vacations that you want to go on. Money gives you connections. Money gives you opportunities, and money gives you freedom. So if you're setting a goal for yourself this year, I recommend setting a money goal. Because yeah, you could probably have other goals too, but I'm a big fan of just focusing on one thing. and when you try to do multiple things, especially when it comes to goals and what you want to focus on this year, it's hard to focus on more than one thing. And that's why a lot of people get distracted. And then at the end of the day, they really don't accomplish anything because they had too many things going on. They confused themselves. They got lost. They got distracted. They got overwhelmed, all kinds of stuff. So if you could just focus on like one thing, or if you wanted me to be your mentor and to kind of help you and guide you based off of, I've been doing my own thing and making my own money for the last 24 years of my life. And it's giving me more than I've ever imagined in all of these areas that you see, and about, probably 20 more areas. Okay. So I want you to think about like, how much money should you really have? Okay. So I saw a bunch of people earlier in the chat was saying like, my goal is to make $100,000 this year. Okay. Well, where did that $100,000 come from and why $100,000? Like really get honest and clear with yourself. And again, the whole challenge is called the Clarity Challenge. So I want you to, basically think that, you should have eventually, okay, not necessarily this year, but eventually you should have so much money that you should be able to buy anything at any time and never have to think about how much it is. Okay. That should be your ultimate goal. Now, whether that's this year or not, I don't know, because I don't know what that number is for you. Like now, if you're someone that lives in like Palm Beach and then you want to go golfing every day and you want to buy yourself a yacht and you want to get a jet and you want to take pilot lessons and all this stuff. Okay, well, your goals, it's probably going to take you a little longer in a year to be able to get to not having to worry about what the price tag of any of those things are. But for someone like me that lives in the Midwest and I just, I don't have a lot of things. I'm not a materialistic person. I don't have things that I need. So my number is very kind of low in terms of what I need per month than most people. And I love all the activity going through the chat right now because that is incredible, because all of you can see. That's why I really encourage all of you to keep showing up live to these, because you can see what everyone else's goals and ambitions are and like what they're setting for themselves. And you can kind of get an idea if you're in the right place, in the right group of people. If there's a lot of people just saying a bunch of nonsense in the chat, then you'd probably look at the live chat and be like, oh, I'm in the wrong family. Like, this world's not for me. These people aren't thinking like me. They don't have the same ambitions and goals that I do. So just kind of look at the chat right now and make sure and reassure yourself if you're in the right place or not. Because I don't want you to spend all year hanging out with me and hanging out in the live streams if like our family and community is not for you. But based off the live chat, I think everybody's in the right place. So anyway, let's talk about like your money goal for this year. So I want you to like really, really think about this. Okay. So, because it's a really hard question. And I kind of touched on it earlier. Most people just pick a random number and it's usually a random number that is totally unattainable. Okay. So this, like the amount of time they set for themselves is like, I want you to set not only just the numbers goal. Sorry, I kind of messed up on those bullet points there. It was late last night. I was going through and like tweaking the bullet points. Those last two kind of don't make sense together. But what I want you to do is get like really focused on the goal you want to have by the end of this year. What is the specific number and why is it that number? Okay. So I want you to think about that. And then my goal, just so you know, like my goal for this challenge is to, and it's not money related because I don't have like, I'm not charging you for this challenge. You've probably seen 5-day challenges and stuff before, and people always charge for them. I don't charge for any of that stuff because you're already in the ambassador world. So my goal is to really tap into everything that I've been learning and mastering over the past 24 years of my life and help you successfully accomplish your money goal this year. So I want to do that by giving you the roadmap of what you need to do during this 5-day clarity challenge. So we're starting off with identifying your goal today, and then because before we even begin, you need to know where the finish line is. You need to know the end, and not just the end of like business, like the end this year. Like, what is your goal by the end of this year? And then how I'm going to do this is I'm going to walk you through exactly what I do and what I've always done each day as a brand ambassador. And I talk about this a lot inside Ambassador. I talk about you saw me, if you've gone through the certification program, you've seen me talk about in the certification program, but I'm going to really simplify it and like dial in for you just in a really simple step-by-step format. So as we're going through it too, I'm going to know what parts you're kind of getting hung up on and which ones you need more help on, which ones you're confused on. And we're going to cover all that as we go through all this. Okay. So something else I'm going to do as we go through this is I'm going to share and show you some brand new stuff that'll make everything much easier for you than it ever has been for me. Now, you've probably have heard me talk about like Jasper and Surfer and AI tools. You've only heard me talk about those two tools. I am absolutely obsessed with AI technology this year. And when I'm not like actually working in my business inside Ambassador or LuxList, I am a complete nerd when it comes to AI, where I subscribe to about 40 different YouTube channels. I subscribe to every podcast I can find on AI. And then when I'm at the gym, I'm listening to and watching YouTube videos and podcasts about AI. When I am in my Jeep, I'm listening and watching YouTube videos and podcasts about AI. When I'm out for walks, I'm listening to YouTube videos and watching and all that stuff about AI. So I used to always listen to music and motivational stuff, but I am so obsessed with AI right now, and not just Jasper and Surfer, but I have a bookmark folder of over 70 different AI tools. 80% of them are free to use. And I'm experimenting with all this stuff right now. And I'm going to share some of the really cool stuff with you as we go through this together. So you can kind of see what I get excited about, because this is the kind of stuff this year, everything that you can do, not just as a brand ambassador, but as like an entrepreneur, someone building your own business, it's going to be so much easier for you this year than it ever has been ever. Okay. So last year, the big eye-opening aha moment for me was two tools, Jasper and Surfer. Those two tools working together make it extremely easy for anyone to write that is not a writer, and to write something that's going to rank that has never done anything that's SEO or any of that. Just using two tools, it pretty much does most of it for you. So you still have to know like how to use AI in the sense, like, instead of becoming a great writer, you have to become a great person or someone that's great at like telling AI what to write. Okay. So the better of a instructor you can be to AI, the better outputs you're going to get. And that works for all the AI tools that I'm going to be sharing with you. So if you like the kind of stuff that I've done so far for Ambassador, and the stuff that I teach and the stuff that I get excited about so far, your mind is going to be blown with what you're going to see this year on the things that I'm going to be sharing with you, because it's stuff I'm experimenting with right now and I'm obsessing with right now with AI. So anyway, we'll get into that when I talk about like on day 3 on Simplify, day 4 Magnify. Those 2 days, I'll kind of tease a couple tools for you that are free to use, and then you can kind of play around with it. Maybe you'll get obsessed with it, like I will, and then we can all be in this together. Okay. So what I want to do is talk about your assignment for this. And by the way, don't go anywhere because I still have to. We're going to go over your assignment. I'm going to talk about some cash rewards because I want to give out some cash in reward for those of you that are actually doing the assignments every day. I have urgent news that I need to share with you before you go, and then we'll do some live Q&A about today. Okay. So don't go anywhere. Even if you, just don't go anywhere. Especially if you don't have any questions to ask, you might want to stick around to hear the questions people might ask later, because the Q&A part is always my favorite part of these live streams. So I want you to think about your money goal that you want to accomplish by the end of this year. And then what I want you to do is go to the accountability section inside Ambassador, create a new post, and share your goal with your family, which is all of us inside of Ambassador. And a perfect example, and to qualify for this, just for fun, include a GIF, like an animated GIF at the end of, like, after you say what your goal is, to just reflect your emotion. So an example could be like, my money goal by the end of this year as an ambassador, this is just an example, this isn't my goal, this is an example, could be for you, is to get to making at least $5,200 a month so I can cover all my living expenses and finally quit my day job and work for myself. Like, that could be, like, in one sentence, I want you to describe what your goal is. So my goal is X, so I can Y. Like, that is the specifics that I want you to do. So let me show you how to, like, do this assignment. So you would go into Ambassador. Okay, so I'm logged in right here, which, by the way, Amy, I know you're here live in the chat, and I saw an hour ago you posted that you got to 200 posts published on your blog. Amazing job, by the way. And it looks like you, out of those 200, you already have 134 that are getting indexed, which is incredible. So that means you have 134 seeds that you planted that broke service in the Google Garden that are now rising up in the search position listings on Google, which is amazing. So big shout out to Amy for that. That's a big win. So anyway, what you want to do is come in here and go to, when you're logged into Ambassador, on the left-hand side, click on accountability. And then once you're in the accountability section, which, by the way, big props to all of you. We have 2,716 members logged into Ambassador right now, which is awesome. So here you just want to click on new post. And then an example would be like, my money goal by the end of this year as an ambassador is to get to making at least $5,200 a month so I can cover all my living expenses and finally quit my day job and work for myself. So then once you do that, to do the animated GIF, all you have to do is down here at the bottom, just click on GIF. And then this is where, think of an expression and an emotion. This is how I come up with GIFs. I think of like an emotion. I type in an emotion like happy, excited, celebrating, fascinated, amazed, like just one word. So we could just do, excited. And then you can find something that just is kind of fun. So you click on it, then you got to wait for it to upload because what it's doing is like pulling it from the internet. And then once you have your GIF, I always like clicking on the GIF and then making it full screen. There's like these two little icons. It can be left aligned or center aligned. And if you do center aligned, there's your GIF. So, I mean, how much more fun is that? I mean, instead of just saying my goal by the end of the year is to get to making $5,200 a month so I can cover all my living expenses and quit my job and work for myself, that's a good post. But when you add a GIF like this, it just makes it so much better. So anyway, go ahead and just, when you have time, go into the accountability section between now and tomorrow when we do our live stream tomorrow, and just hit publish post, because then that's going to be, well, again, your assignment. Like I said, we're starting off this 5-day challenge with really simple assignments, but it's going to get a little more intense as we go. So, and then what we're going to do for this one is, for the cash reward is tomorrow, I'm going to pick 3 ambassadors that took the time to share their money goal that they want to accomplish by the end of the year, followed by the example format you saw above, included a gift to reflect their emotion. And I'm going to give 3 ambassadors a cash reward tomorrow. Okay. So you probably want to show up tomorrow if you've taken the time to put in the accountability section, what your thing is, to see if you win the cash reward. So that's going to be what's going on for right now. Okay. So before we get to live Q&A, I want to do some urgent news. I saw there's been a lot of, actually, before we get to urgent news, I totally have forgot to do like a 1 to 10 rating, because I see we have 354 of you live right now, and we only have 197 of you that have liked the live stream, which means there's a good chunk of you that either don't like the live stream or you forgot to click the like button. So if you can, before we get into the news and Q&A, on a 1 to 10 scale, can you give me like a rating on a 1 to 10 really quick in the live chat on your feelings and excitement for just this challenge overall right now? Because again, today I was nervous because I did not want to share the name of the challenge with anyone before we actually went live. I wanted it to be a big surprise because I didn't want some of you to think, oh, clarity, I got clarity, and then just not show up. So it was intentional for me to not tell you what it was, to try to get a lot of you to show up initially, because I feel like every single person on planet Earth needs like a little clarity check every now and then, especially starting off the beginning of the year. So Fiona, thank you for all the 1111s. I appreciate it. Thomas is a 10. Bradley Hoover's a 10, 10, 10. Thank you for all of the 10s. Thank you, Vanette. Thank you, Kyle. Good. I was nervous to ask for that, which I'm always nervous asking for a 1 to 10, because if I don't get a lot of you that are enjoying what it is that I'm doing, I have to go back and have a sleepless night, staying up and thinking like, where did I go wrong? And like what, so I can fix it for next time. But so far it looks like everything is going well. Oh, by the way, Judy, welcome. I don't know if it's just you here or if it's you and Hector. So everyone, Judy and Hector is an incredible duo that is inside Ambassador. And I had the opportunity to actually get to meet them live in Orlando not too long ago. And Judy, I've been seeing what you've been posting on Facebook, and incredible like personal work that you've been doing for yourself. I won't go into details or anything because I don't want to like put you on the spotlight, but I'm blown away with the results that you've been able to accomplish for yourself over the last year. So big props to you and everything that you've been doing. And if it's Hector that's here and not Judy, Hector, tell Judy that I said big props, and I'm blown away with everything. So anyway, I like to get to know a lot of you on a personal level if possible, and it's fun to get to bump into a lot of you live. And I didn't have, and for some of you are wondering like, you know, how did I meet or bump into Judy and Hector? It was actually totally random. We were at a different event, and we were at a live event, and they spotted me probably because of the hat I was wearing, and they came up, and yeah, we got to hang out for a little bit, which was awesome. So anyway, thank you for all the 10s and everything. It just keeps coming in. I really appreciate it. So what I want to do is that there has been a lot of Judy says, I really appreciate that. You deserve it like a million times over. Again, blown away with the transformation and everything. So I want to share some news because there's been a lot of people like really blowing up our support desk over here at Ambassador and asking a lot of questions about something specifically. And I am very kind of secretive about it because so even I have my support be secretive about like responding to questions that people are asking about something specific, because not everybody needs to know about it. It's a very kind of private thing, and it's private for good reason. So I'm going to go ahead and mention it right now. So this is urgent news, because I feel like why it's urgent news is because it's timely for what we're talking about with the Clarity Challenge. And by the way, I don't have anything to sell you during this Clarity Challenge. This isn't like a challenge to get you to buy something or anything like that. There is not a course at the end of the challenge. A lot of people, they do these like challenges, whether it be free, paid, or whatever. And because they have this like ulterior motive to get people to buy something at the end, because they use the challenge essentially to show you like what it is they're going to talk about, or why, or they have like this whole what, and then they talk about why it's important. And then they show you a little bit of the how you need to do it through the challenge. And they say, oh, if you really want to take this serious, we have a whole course that you can go deeper on this now that you've completed the challenge. Like that's what people do challenges for, unfortunately. And people do it in all industries, but I'm not a fan of that. I'm a fan, as you know, I just like to teach and give you everything that you know, and just let you take it and run with it as you please. But there is something where the doors are open for a small period of time, and there's not, when I say small, I'm not saying the doors are open now and the doors are going to close at the end of the challenge. So if it's okay with you, I want to share some news, and if you don't want to hear about it, you don't have to listen to it. But I know it's gonna help a lot of people that have been sending in support emails all nonstop. And that is, there's this whole area inside the Ambassador community that is private, and if you click on any of the areas, it's just locked, and it says it's for Ambassador members only. But there's nothing about it. Like, you can't read about it. You can't go learn about it. It just says it's for members only, Ambassador Alliance members only. No one knows really what it is. So I'm going to mention it because it has opened back up, because we've gotten to a part where there have been some renewals that have came up for a couple members and they didn't renew just because the investment was a lot, which is fine because it's not for everybody. And once people get in, they get in and get what they need out of it and get out. It's almost like having a therapist. Like I've never had a therapist before. You probably don't have a therapist like your whole life. You have a therapist for the time you need a therapist, and then when you get done or got your help, then you move on. So what the Ambassador Alliance is, and this is just, again, answering questions that we get from a lot of people, and I don't talk about this. The only time I talk about this is when the doors open back up for a little bit. So this will only take, I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes to go through, and then we'll go to live Q&A. And if you have questions about it during live Q&A, I'll answer the questions too. And if you have questions related to anything we talked about today, go ahead and hold those questions to live Q&A. I'll be happy to answer them. So the Ambassador Alliance, again, like I said, it's a private and exclusive. It's a whole world inside Ambassador that is it's like a walled garden that's walled off from everyone else inside Ambassador. And it's a totally different way to experience Ambassador. And it's designed to help you really accomplish your goals faster, because once you're an ambassador, you have everything you need to succeed. You don't need the alliance to succeed, but sometimes, people actually just want a much more intimate, immersive experience and have more access to me personally and my team. So what the alliance is, and again, there's no page for this to read about it. It's just when it's open, it's open. When it's not, it's not. So it's going to give you upgraded status inside the ambassador portal. And it gives you access to a 24/7 live chat room, which is only for Alliance members only. It's going to give you free enterprise level access to Jasper, which I'll talk about that in a second. Private one-on-one video coaching via Zoom with my team and I. You get weekly video coaching from me inside a private Zoom room, access to a roundtable community, access to a syndicate, which is the ability to publish on Lux List, early access to ambassador courses that really gives you an unfair advantage. And I'll go a little more in depth in this if some of you want me to. So due to this intimate nature, though, in the unlimited coaching, I always have to keep the group very small. It's always around 150 members inside the Alliance family, and it's always full. So there's no way to ever get into it unless just spots open up. So every once in a while, again, I'll open the doors for a few people to get in if spots have opened up. And if it's something you like to explore, all it is, it's really simple. It's a 10-question application. And based on your application, if it feels like it would be a good fit for you to learn more about it, you can you can schedule a call. We'll chat with you. You'll learn what the investment is. You'll learn the expectations, because there are expectations to be a part of the Alliance. And it's not a requirement to succeed as an ambassador. It's only, again, for a really small group of people, less than 1% of members inside Ambassador probably even qualify for it. So it's for people who are really just doers. They're not dabblers, because people that invest in things like this, like Ambassador, and they want to become an entrepreneur and they want to create their own business. A lot of people are dabblers. They invest in a lot of things. They're just dabbling around, but they're not they don't go all in on anything. And the Alliance is for members who take business very seriously. It's for members who want one-on-one access with my team and I. It's for members who want a greater opportunity. And the way it works, again, this is a secret whole level and world inside Ambassador that is available to the Ambassador family. People that are not inside Ambassador will not have the ability to even join the Alliance. So you have to be inside Ambassador to even qualify to check out the Alliance. And I wish I could make it available to everyone, but there's over 3,000 members inside Ambassador. It's logistically impossible due to everything that you have to unlock. And you can't just buy your way into the Alliance. You can't say, oh, it's this much. Okay, I'm in. Those, again, who are interested, you fill out an application, and then we schedule a call chat with it, and we make sure you're the right person that we're looking for. So real quick, before I go into everything that you get, and again, this whole challenge, this is not a pitch for the Alliance. There's literally less than 5 spots available. But I want to mention it because it kind of goes along with the clarity in terms of if you need someone to be by your side and hold you accountable, and you just need that extra boost, that's what it's for. And if anyone here that is in the Alliance that's actually here, just if you can, just type in Alliance in all caps, and just in one sentence, feel free to describe what your experience in the Alliance has been like. Because again, I'm a totally transparent person, and And I'm curious, in like one sentence, how many of you are in the alliance that are here? And in one sentence, how would you describe the alliance? But anyway, this is everything that you get. So you get an alliance status, which is a new badge added next to your name inside Ambassador. Everyone inside Ambassador will actually see your badge. You will have the Alliance live chat, which this is actually a live interactive chat room that is available 24/7 for Alliance members only. There'll never be another live interactive chat room outside of the Alliance, just because it doesn't work when there's like hundreds of people or thousands of people in the chat room. It would just be too much to keep up on. And as far as the software, you get enterprise access to level access to Jasper, which gives you just a much more powerful version of Jasper. And it's only for enterprise users to get access to. You get customized templates, and I can show you what all these are and stuff if you want to see them, that I developed with Jasper. So I actually flew to their headquarters in Austin, Texas, and I arranged this deal. It cost me $160,000 that I had to arrange to give you access to the enterprise level of Jasper. And that way I can just include it into your Alliance membership, which means you get unlimited, unrestricted, complimentary enterprise access. And that's when you get inside the Alliance. And next, you have Alliance coaching, which I see Jackie. Thank you, Jackie, by saying Jackie's in the Alliance and she loves the weekly Zoom meetings. And then also Clinton says excellent training and community help. Basically, Clinton saying you do get a first look at all the new tools and you get more time with me personally, which again, it's not for everybody. It's only for people that really need more personal help. So for instance, like Michael Lawrence is he's a former Alliance member and he said it was well worth it. So that is, again, you can take a look at, again, there's a lot of people talking in the live chat. So you can take a look at the live chat if you want to get an idea of what people are saying. And where was I? So the one-on-one Zoom session. So I have a team of private coaches that I've trained personally, and you can book as many Zoom sessions as you want with a private coach. Alliance coaches are available from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. This is Monday through Friday. You can use these to get help with your business. You can let my team and I do like an in-depth dive on your business. You can get a list of everything that may be wrong with your business. You can get a step-by-step checklist of exactly what it is and maybe how to improve what it is that you're doing. And you'll always have a peace of mind and be on the right track if you ever need to be on the right track anytime. For the Alliance meetings, which is another benefit of the Alliance, they're very small and intimate private group meetings for Alliance members. They take place immediately before the Ambassador live stream parties I do each week. You can access them with a private Alliance Zoom room that I set up. And I personally help you with anything and everything you need every week. And the way it works is you can submit questions ahead of time for the meetings, and you can let me know what your blog is. You can let me know if you want just a personal breakdown on it. If you're having trouble with something, you can submit it ahead of time. And then what I do is I read everyone's questions. We usually get about 30 to 60 questions every week from Alliance members. And then I go through every question one-on-one and just take a deep dive on answering every question. And then if you need me to turn on like your, if you want to turn on your camera and then you need to talk back and forth with me live, you can do that as well. And Leslie says, Leslie's in the Alliance and she says, I wouldn't be advancing as much without it. Deborah is in the Alliance. She says, progressive community. We learn a lot from each other. And Chris goes deeper into a lot of the areas. So all of these, by the way, are all Ambassador members, and you'll also get to connect with them in the Alliance as well. So next inside the Alliance, you also have the Roundtable, and the Roundtable is a private community that's in the Alliance for members only. I personally have notifications set up on all my devices, which means when you post inside the Roundtable, I get notified instantly, and then I can try to get in and answer your questions as fast as I can. Whereas, as you know, with the Ambassador community with over 3,000 members, it's impossible for me to keep up with for people one-on-one. There's a whole new area that I added in the Alliance called courses, and I just added this where I publish exclusive courses every month for Alliance members only. It goes far deeper in depth on specific systems than my general Ambassador courses do. And the reason for that is because I know the Alliance members, again, the investment they're making, they're doers, and they will do pretty much, if not, I wouldn't say everything I show them to do, but I know when I take the time and record a 2.5 hour training on just leveraging Facebook groups, they're going to do it. Whereas if I take the time and do that for all members, not only will very few people do it, but it also almost opens up the chances of a lot of people doing the same thing, and it could cause God, what's the word for it? It could cause like the what I teach not being as effective when there's 3,000 people trying to do the same thing. So anyway, I like to reward those that have chosen to step up and take it serious. And then there's the syndicate. And this is like the big secret in this business. So if you're just getting started, one of the big things that I want to make sure that you're aware of is that the blogs that publish the most content the fastest will always win in this game. Okay. So unfortunately, ambassadors that are just getting started, they can't publish enough content. Like they want to know, like, what is the secret to writing articles, publishing articles, planting those seeds in the Google garden, and then having those seeds rise up in Google. And they just can't publish fast enough. The only way to win at this game is the more seeds you plant, the more obviously chances you have for those seeds rising up. But also the more seeds you plant, Google will give more weight to those blogs that are publishing very frequently. Now, the reason people are just, can't publish fast enough when they're getting started right out of the gate is they're just getting started trying to figure everything out, which is okay. You'll eventually get there. But if you want to win big and you want to do this really fast, so all the goals that you were mentioning earlier in the live chat, if you want to hit that goal faster, really all you have to do is publish as fast as possible. If there's a blog, if I'm publishing, we'll call it 25 articles a day, and you're publishing 1 article a day, and we're in the same category, Google is going to give weight to my blog more than you because I'm more of an authority in that space because I'm publishing 25 articles a day. Now they got to be good articles. They can't be like terrible articles. And so it's kind of makes you unstoppable when you're a blog that is publishing very quickly because all those articles rise up very fast together. So where was I going with this? Oh, so on your own, basically, if you want to do this fast, you need to have a team writing your articles for you like day and night, and it can get very expensive and very time consuming. I was going to go into talking about my dad and my daughters. I'm not going to do that right now because I always get really emotional talking about it. So I don't feel like getting emotional. Something really bad happened to me yesterday, and that was and I posted this on Facebook is 20 hours ago. My one of my dogs, which I've had for 15 years, she was struggling to breathe, and I had to rush her to the ER at the vet, and she has basically a ton of fluid on her lungs. She has an enlarged heart. I had to drop her off and drive home without her. I was crying so hard I had to pull over, and they have her on oxygen and meds right now. So, already emotionally, I'm torn apart with this. So I definitely cannot talk about my dad and daughters right now. But basically, long story short, they're going to be they're going to be authors on Lux List, which is my blog, because of I got to skip past that. So anyway, in addition to giving my dad and daughters the opportunity to like jump into this whole world of the brand ambassador world and get results very quickly, I want to give everyone inside the Alliance the same opportunity. So anyone that basically wants to get paid to talk about their favorite brands on the internet, but they don't want to deal with having their own blog, they don't want to deal with creating all the stuff, they just want to write articles and hit publish, then I've extended that opportunity recently to everyone that's inside the Alliance. And rather than working with like making it available to everyone inside Ambassador, I don't want thousands of people writing on my legacy on Lux List and just writing crappy articles, because a lot of people probably try to spam it. So I have to filter on who I want to write on Lux List and who I don't. So the best way to filter it is those that invest in the Alliance. I know they're doers and they're serious. So I'm giving them the opportunity to write on Lux List. And the whole reason why they would want to even do that is that, back to talking about the blog with the most articles published on a daily basis wins. If you were in the Alliance, which a lot of you are that are here, a lot of you have been posting earlier, you've seen probably that when you write an article and hit publish on Lux List, that article rises up very quickly, like lightning fast on Google, because of all of the articles being published on a daily basis on Lux List. Now, when you publish an article on Lux List, which is my blog, and you do it when you're in the Alliance, I'm not taking any part of anything that you're doing. You have full rights to like publish. You have full rights to put in whatever links you want to put in. You can drive people to Amazon. You can drive people to other offers. You can drive people back to your own blog. You have full ability to do whatever you want to do on your articles. I'm just giving you a platform and a rocket ship to be able to publish an article and it just rise up quick on Google because of where it's located. So anyway, that's kind of the whole thing of Lux List. And I did not realize how many bullet points I put here on this whole part of the alliance. I feel like I'm talking like so much about the alliance, so I'm just going to skip past everything because this whole thing wasn't even about the alliance. It was just, I knew that there was going to be a handful of people, like less than 10, that are probably on this whole challenge that are like, have been begging to get into the alliance, but that we haven't had the doors open because it's been full. But then a couple people, unfortunately, weren't able to renew. So then we have a few spots open. So that's the whole reason why I even put this together. And this is also just letting everyone know what the alliance is, because I don't talk about it. The only time I talk about the alliance is when the doors open. So the doors are open right now. And all you got to do, you go to ambassadoralliance.com. It's only 10 questions. You can apply, see if you even qualify. And if you do, that's where you can book a complimentary call with the team. You can learn more details about what the alliance is. There's no pressure. As you know me, there's no hard selling. I don't even have a team that does anything like that. So you can ask as many questions as you want on the call. If it's for you, if there are still the few spots available, you can take one of those spots. If it's not for you, at least you looked into it. So you don't have to join, by the way. This is not like a high pressure thing. I'm just getting out of the way now. So it's out of the way. And then for those of you who want to get into it, you can. And then the rest of the challenge, the only time I'll ever bring this up down the road is if anyone has questions about this when we get into live Q&A on the other days. So because I know the spots are probably they might even be filled up before tomorrow. So the calendar is wide open right now if you want to get on to see if it's for you. So that's pretty much, I'm not even going to read through all that. Basically just say, if you want to join, great. If you don't have to. So that was it. So now what I want to do, and again, I apologize, that went on way longer than I thought, but at least that answers a lot of the questions. So if you have questions regarding anything today specifically, all you can do, or all you need to do is in the live chat, just ask your questions starting with just a capital Q, and then I will take a look and see if there's any questions, and I will be happy to answer your questions. So let me take a quick sip of water and give it your chance. I'll take a quick sip of water and give you a chance to ask a question. And okay, so I did see here. Let me switch over to my screen. So I saw there was a question from Luis Dixon, said you didn't mention the cost. So like I said, it's expensive. I'm not going to go into the cost or anything because there's a lot of different payment plans, and depending on if you just want to get in for a short period of time to try it out, if you want to get in for a longer period of time or a really long time, there's a lot of different costs. There's a lot of payment plans. There's a lot of, all kinds of financing things. So this is not a sales pitch for the Alliance. So that's, if you think it's for you, you can book a call and see if it's for you. If not, you don't have to worry about it. Question from Ray. You know what? My goal was to just ask questions about just what I covered today only. But I realized since I'm doing this 5-day challenge for everyone this week, and I'm not doing just a normal ambassador live stream party because it happens the same day as the live stream challenge. So tell you what, any questions you have at all related to being brand ambassador stuff, or anything at all, if you just want to ask questions about my health or my dogs, what my dad, my daughters, whatever you want, I'll answer whatever questions you want. Okay. So Ray says, do you use Zapier? If so, can you do a quick workshop on it? So I honestly don't use Zapier for brand ambassador stuff. And the reason why is because I can't figure it out. Because the way Zapier works is, from my understanding, you can connect multiple things. It's like automations from what I understand. So you could, for instance, if you do a blog post on Ghost, you could connect Ghost to Zapier and then connect, let's say, your Facebook account to Zapier. So when you publish a post, that post you'll also or as soon as you publish an article, that article will automatically be published on Facebook. I think that's how it works. But I tried playing around with it like a year and a half ago, and I was confused by it. I couldn't figure it out. So I don't personally use it. I do know some people that do use it and swear by it. But for me, I just don't do that personally. I probably should, but I just don't know how to do it. Golden Guidebooks says, praying for you. We just had to put down one of our pups. I'm super sorry about that because of a tumor that wasn't operable. It's been extremely hard, and held him the whole time. That's tough. That's really tough. The crazy story is that so I have 2 Shih Tzus. I shouldn't say my family, my wife and I, we got 2 Shih Tzus that were sisters when they were 3 weeks old, 15 years ago. And and I have 2 daughters that are 10 and 12. So this was like before we had kids. And so one of them, not the one you saw the picture of, but one of them had she's had like an immune disorder recently, and then we had to take her in to the vet on Friday, and it was an emergency visit. We had to take her into the vet on Friday because she was just didn't even want to get out of her bed. She was having accidents, like potty accidents in her bed, and she didn't even realize it. She wouldn't eat anything, and it was freaking us out. And we're like, she is 15. We didn't know what was going on. So then took her to the vet, and it was a really bad immune disorder issue. So they did a bunch of injections, and then luckily we got to bring her back. And she's on some crazy meds now, and she's already bouncing back within like 24 hours. That was Friday. So we took her Friday afternoon and then got her back home Friday night. And then her sister, Cubby, the one you saw the picture of, she wasn't even, there's like nothing wrong with her. Like she was fine. She was like running around when we were at the vet and everything. And everyone's like, oh, is she here for moral support? We're like, yeah, she's kind of crazy. She's the wild one. And then the very next morning, she had trouble breathing. Like she couldn't even like catch her breath. And then now Lily is fine, the one that we had in the vet, but then now Covey couldn't even breathe. So then I rushed her to the ER at the vet, and then found out all the fluid on her lungs. She has an enlarged heart, has a heart disease. And I mean, this all just like our whole family's been hit like by a freight train with all this stuff. So she stayed overnight. They had her on oxygen all night. And now she is, we just got a call 2 hours ago for an update for how she did overnight. And they say she's not struggling as much anymore, but they haven't had her off oxygen yet. So today she's like getting off oxygen to see how she does. And it's bad. Yeah, it's really bad. Like my wife's upstairs. She's just been crying like all day. So it's really bad. Naomi says, can you have someone change the dates of the weekly videos and titles and give your Notion documents for with them? So I'll go in and I'll check the dates and titles. I don't know. Well, now that I mentioned what the challenge was, I will go and update the titles. The dates should be the same though. I'll go double check, but I'm not going to make the Notion document available because this is one Notion document where all the dates are in one Notion document, and all, like, I already have day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. I've got all the agenda for all the days already. So if I shared the Notion document with you now, you could jump ahead and then see everything that's coming up. And I don't want to do that. So it's kind of like, I want you to pay attention and kind of just stay focused on what we're doing each day and just focus on the assignment. And then, which the assignment is pretty easy. You just go into Ambassador and go in the accountability section and let us know what your goals are and include a GIF. But then when we're done with the challenge, I will give you the Notion document so you can go through it and be able to do what you need to do, or take your notes and all that stuff later. Valentine on YouTube said, how hard is it to get approved by Amazon Associates? Not hard at all. You literally go to Google, type in Amazon Associates. It'll take you to the Amazon Associates page. And I talk about this, I think it's in week 2 or week 3 inside the 6-week certification inside Ambassador. So basically when you get to where you built your blog, so you have your blog and you've done just a handful of articles on your blog. So you got your blog, you got a few articles there. Then what you can do is you go to Amazon Associates and then you fill out the application. And it's not to my ability or knowledge, it's not manually reviewed by a human. They just want to make sure that you have all the fields filled out. One of the fields is like, what is your website URL? And you cannot submit the application unless that field is filled out. So as long as all those fields are filled out, your application is essentially immediately approved. And then, so I would not want to test it though, and then put in someone else's blog just to try to get approved, because I don't know if that blog is permanent, that URL is permanently attached to your application later. If you can change, I don't think you can change it. So I wouldn't like lie on the application. So you want to make sure that you just fill out all the fields, and you'll be just fine. Somebody's name on YouTube is Ambassador and is saying, how is Ambassador different from from the affiliate marketing or ClickFunnels or bot builders or Super Affiliate System Pro? Simple. So all of those things are like tactics and tricks that people are doing to well, Super Affiliate System, actually, I know John really well, and John's an amazing dude. He's actually a friend of mine. And we were actually just hanging out in Vegas, John and I. So he's got a great system, but what he teaches in is totally different than what I teach with Ambassador. So the difference of like Ambassador and then everything else out there is that, so, and I even post, you know what? I even posted a frequently asked question inside Ambassador about this. Let me go to it really quick, and I'll just read literally the FAQ I just posted, which is because a lot of people are always asking, like, how is Ambassador different from blank? So I need to share my screen. Let me hit my button, share my screen. So, let me turn off the Alliance thing. So so when you go to Ambassador, you can go to the FAQ section, and then it just says, what is the difference between Ambassador and being an ambassador and influencer? Now this can apply to being an ambassador or insert whatever else. So an ambassador and an influencer are similar in that they both promote a brand or product, but there's definitely key differences between the two. So an ambassador is someone who's formally aligned with a brand and talks about a brand on an ongoing basis, like one brand specifically. An influencer is someone who has just a large following on social media and is able to influence purchasing decisions of their followers. So think of like the Kim Kardashians of the world. So they may be paid by a brand to promote a product or service, but they're not necessarily aligned with that brand or company. So in summary, like an ambassador is a formal representative of a brand, whereas an influencer is more of a social personality who promotes a brand or product. Now, I know that the question wasn't about an influencer, but I just want to explain like what an ambassador was really. And you can apply this to anything. So what, for instance, like what is the difference between an ambassador and an affiliate marketer? So an affiliate marketer, I'll tell you right now, is someone that's more performance driven. They're all about just running ads on Facebook, running ads wherever they can run ads and get the cheapest cost per click. And they're just trying to just maximize, the amount of dollars that go into the system. We go into Facebook, go into Google ads, go into Facebook, YouTube ads. They're just trying to make more than they're spending. That's what an affiliate marketer essentially is. They're like a performance marketer. I used to do that for a long time. Hated it because there are some days you do really good, some days you wouldn't do very good. And you have to have a big bankroll to even get started with it. So I'm not a fan of that. Bot builders, against all of that, it's basically building websites that are all done through automation. They last, a couple days to a couple weeks, maybe if you're lucky, a couple months, and then they all get shut down and de-indexed in Google, and you have to go do it all over again. Don't recommend doing that. And again, I've done all these different things over my 24 years. And being an ambassador is just truly the most genuine type of business you could build because you're truly like representing and talking about brands in a positive light. And I recommend inside Ambassador, obviously, starting with finding these brands on Amazon, because then you don't have to worry about trying to get deals with brands directly. But there's somebody, for instance, Bobbin. Here, let me look up Bobbin. This is one of our members in our community. So Bobbin is, by the way, posted 708 comments inside Ambassador. Love Bobbin. She just said recently, where was it, Bobbin? I saw you posted a post recently about, can't find it now, but you're basically, she was approached by, maybe it was under celebrations. She was approached by, I'm sorry, it wasn't Bobbin. My apologies. Bobbin, you're still amazing. It was by Joey. So Joey Pappin. So she said she received an email from a company offering her an affiliate partnership. So they love her blog, they say. Since she's never been in the position, she wasn't quite sure how to respond. She replied to their email, some questions, haven't received a response. So basically she's been following everything that's inside Ambassador, created her blog, and she's like writing articles and talking about brands that are on Amazon. But the thing is once you start doing that and you start rising up in the ranks, you will have brands reach out to you that want to do direct deals with you. And that's where things really start opening up, because you start having all these articles and all these seeds that you've been planting out there on Google, and then they just slowly start rising up in the ranks to where brands recognize that and they want to work with you. So this is all like next phase and next level stuff I'm going to be talking about and doing courses on inside Ambassador, including like email templates to use to respond to these people and all of that. So sorry, I was kind of jumping all over there on some questions. And I'm not going to answer questions about other people's programs right now. I saw there are questions about that. You can ask those questions inside Ambassador, and I can definitely answer those questions. I'm not going to answer questions about my net worth or anything like that. So just so you know, I'm like a very private person. I'm not someone that flexes by, getting a certain car and driving around and having like a bullseye on my back. I'm not someone that's ever going to talk about how much money I make or anything like that, because I want to show off or try to get you to buy something because of how much money I make. I'm not like, that is not me at all. There's plenty of other people out there in the world that will do all that, and make you feel good by just throwing out numbers on what their net worth is and stuff like that. But that is not me. I will just say that what I do or what I teach is what I do, and what I do I've done for the last 24 years, and it's done extremely well to where everything that I've ever wanted in life is taken care of. My kids' colleges are taken care of, my kids are taken care of, and probably my kids' are taken care of, like doing just fine. So that's all I'll say. And it's not, and then what I teach is not just like saying, oh, I do it, so it's going to work. Like, I use real examples of showing you, and I do this in certification all the time. Like I say, for instance, let's say you want to get paid to talk about fly fishing poles. You could go to Google, type in best fly fishing poles, look at the top results on Google that are showing up, click on them, go to their blogs, and then look them up on similarweb.com and see how much traffic they're getting every month. And there's blogs out there that are getting millions and millions and millions of visitors every month. And you better believe they're making millions and millions and millions of dollars. And all they're doing is just reviewing products. So what I teach is not just like, do this because it works for me. I'm teaching you what has not only been working for me for 24 years, but has worked for a ton of people. Lorima says, I love the personal questions too. Thank you for asking a personal question. She says, where do you get your merch? Like the hat. Love the quality. So let me show you. Let me go to it real quick and I'll share my screen here. So, let me share my screen. So I get my hats from a brand called Black Clover. That's the hat I'm wearing right now. And it's blackcloverusa.com. So these are the hats. They actually, I think they're like a golf brand, but I don't golf. I play mini golf, but I don't golf. But they have hats that are they're literally the most comfortable hats that I've ever had. Not only are they the most comfortable hats I've ever had, but they have a clover on them. My last name is Luck, and that I have like 17 of these. Well, 18 of these now, because I used to have 17. And then Bobbin, which is one of the members of the Ambassador family, actually sent me a very nice hat. I'm not wearing it right now because I'm washing it, but it's a really cool like baby blue hat that she bought from Topgolf, and she shipped it to me. So that was super nice. So anyway, it's called Black Clover. That is my hat brand. Okay, let's go through, and I'm just trying to pick out some questions here that could probably be helpful for me to answer, because there's still over 300 of you here live. So I'm trying to find questions that can help a lot of people from me answering them. And okay, Barbara says, for a title, if my ranking keyword is not hyphenated, but grammatically it should be, should I omit the hyphen or put it in? If it's not hyphenated, I wouldn't worry about it. Because it's, the thing is, like, if it's not hyphenated, the good thing is if you write an article that doesn't include the hyphen, you will rank for both words that are in the phrase. So I always recommend, like, don't try to optimize for a hyphenated word. Just go for the non-hyphenated word. And same with plural and singular. It doesn't matter if you're trying to optimize for plural or singular, you'll end up ranking for both. So I recommend don't worry about the hyphen. And people that are talking about other courses and stuff inside here, this is not a live stream talking about other courses. This is a live stream and a challenge about Ambassador. So I'm not even addressing questions about other courses right now. If you do have questions for that though, that's what Inside the Community is all about. Harold says, in Ambassador, when you start a training video like YouTube and have to stop for a short time, why does it always start back at the bottom? I know it's not your fault. Good question. I don't know. That's probably just a YouTube thing. That's a good question. I have no idea. I've never even noticed that, but now I'm going to pay attention to that. Now I'm kind of curious why that would happen. Alan says, how can an ambassador member get a 15-minute consultation with Chris? Unfortunately, again, there's over 3,000 members inside Ambassador, and I don't do like personal consultations with anyone because I don't trade my time for money like that on a one-on-one basis. The last time I did a consultation, it was $1,500 an hour, and I just made available for a short time, just put a calendar up and saw if anyone wanted to book anything, and my calendar filled up, and I didn't even want to do the consultations because my time is worth more than $1,500 and an hour, and I just much rather do things in group settings. So the best way to get if you need help with something when you're inside the alliance, you can submit your questions ahead of time for our meetings, and then I will answer all your questions in detail in like a very intimate environment, and then you can turn on your camera and we can talk back and forth through the alliance meetings that I do every week. So that's going to be the best way to get like the direct access from me, is to be a member of the alliance. And the thing too with the alliance is that you don't have to. The thing with the alliance here, you know what? Let me just, because I saw other questions coming in about it. This will be the last time I'll mention it. So when you go to ambassadoralliance.com, the way this works, so you can watch a little video where I'll talk about it, but then when I say it's 10 questions, it really is like you just come here and then you hit yes and you answer 10 questions. Then it'll take you to a calendar where you can then book a call with the team, and then they will answer all your questions. They'll talk about pricing. They'll give you a tour of the alliance if you want a tour of like how it works behind the scenes. They'll do whatever you want. They're just there for you to see if you're a good fit or not. And then at least you know. And then if you want to take one of the spots, you can get a spot. If not, you don't have to worry about it. But there's people, the reason why spots have opened up, by the way, is that it's because it's only available to people that are inside Ambassador. It's not available to just anyone out there in the world. And the only reason there's spots open up, because when you join, I'll give you a little bit of insight. So you can get in for 3 months, 6 months, or a year. And then there's some people that got in for 3 months when we first opened the doors, and their 3-month contract was up, and it was like, hey, do you want to stick around? But they got everything they needed in 3 months. It's like going to a trainer, going to a therapist. Like they knew what they wanted to get. They got what they needed within 3 months, and then they're like, yeah, I'm good. And then they answered I got to answer all the questions that they needed help with, kind of help guide them on like building out their blog, making sure they're on the right direction, and they got what they needed. And then, if they want to come back later because they maybe hit another roadblock or something, they can totally come back later. So that is, that's how all that's positioned. Thank you, Luis, by saying I appreciate you don't flaunt it. Yeah, a lot of people say I should flaunt because that's what everyone else does, but I'm not everyone else. Like I never even was on camera until I started doing Ambassador, because I just don't want to be in the spotlight. Like I don't want to be. It's not about me. Like the things that I'm teaching all of you and sharing with all of you, it's about helping you, but it has nothing to do with like my net worth, what kind of cars I drive, what kind of house I'm in, that kind of stuff. But and then that's why I show a lot of other examples of like what other people do and how you can even find your own examples of what people are doing in your space by like coming up with what kind of products you want to talk about, going to Google and typing in like best makeup eyeliner or whatever you would type in, and then see what shows up at the top, and then just going and checking their traffic stats and be like, oh man, there's a lot of people making a lot of money out there doing this. It's not about the flaunting. Travis, good question. Travis says, what is a realistic goal to set for 2023 if you follow what you teach in certification, publish one money article per day? So this is a tough question because it depends on, I'll give you kind of a rough idea, but there's so many factors that go into play because it depends on like, are you publishing articles that are meeting all my criteria that are, green light opportunities on every article you do? Or are you going for more long tail articles that are maybe like 100 to 200 searches a month and not 1,000 searches a month? Like there's so many different things that go into play. So you figure at the end of the day, let's say if you did one article a day, and assuming you even did like 365 days a year, which most people probably won't, but if you did, that's 365 articles. And you figure, the average article, depending on the industry, I mean, you could be talking about, if you had 365 articles and you're talking about products less than $20 versus 365 articles and you're talking about products that were in the $100 range, that's all going to change on how much money you're going to make. But I will be honest, like you could make anywhere from, I would say with 365 articles and you spent a year doing it, you could be doing like realistically like low six figures beyond that. And when I say beyond that, it's because there's so many other things I'm going to be teaching you this year specifically that is going to be in addition to just writing articles and hitting publish and waiting for commissions to come in. I'm going to be sharing with you how to build a newsletter, how to do a paid membership, how to build a paid community. I'm going to show you if you want to get into drop shipping, how to do that. I'm going to show you how to run sponsorship ads on your articles and like on your blog and around your blog, how to go out and get brand deals done based off of the traffic you're getting to your blog, how to set up your own marketplace. There's so many things I'm going to be teaching you this year that, I mean, I will say that the majority of, at least I don't know about other countries, but the majority of Americans, the revenue that you can make from Ambassador would be far greater than like, you know, getting a PhD and becoming a doctor, you know, and I think a lot of people can make money they can live a very healthy, comfortable life on a salary that would be better than a doctor's salary. That's what I would say. But again, full disclosure and disclaimer, like I can't guarantee results. I can't all that kind of stuff. I'm not like a magician. I'm not a fortune teller, and I'm not going to, you know, just tell you what you want to hear, but I'm just trying to give you the best realistic answer that isn't just blowing a bunch of smoke up your butt like everyone else does. Okay. So Ramon, good question. Can we use Amazon descriptions as the product description, or can we come up with product title and product description using Jasper? So crazy story here. Here, let me actually, not story, but let me show you something. So what you can do, sorry, let me turn that off. So what you can do is if you do happen to be inside the Alliance, and I don't know if you are an Alliance member or not, but when you are an Alliance member, like I said, you're gonna get access to Jasper Enterprise, right? Now, Jasper Enterprise is a level of Jasper beyond what everybody else has access to, because I paid $160,000 to Jasper to have an enterprise level plan that I'm going to give you complimentary access to as a user under my plan. And part of that is you get access to custom templates that I worked out with Jasper. And this is what I literally am sitting down with their developers and building out custom templates. And so, as you all know, my blog is LuxList, right? And I've actually had custom templates made where you can have, if you want to come up with a title, you can just click on LuxList title. So for instance, let's say your keyword is like fly fishing pole for kids. You say how many products you're reviewing, say 5. Let's say you want 5 outputs, and you hit generate. And then like, you'll just go ahead and notice how quick that was, by the way. You'll get all your outputs. So it's like really good fun. Look at fly fishing poles for kids, fly fishing fun for kids, review the top fly fishing poles for little anglers. Your child would love these 5 epic fly fishing poles for kids. So what goes on is I have literally a prompt going on behind the scenes. It's like this long of like code that is telling Jasper when you put in a keyword to run all of these prompts in succession to give you an output that is this good for a title. Well, what's really great is that I actually have these prompts, or I have these templates for every part of your article that you should be writing. So if you, like, for instance, you're just talking about the question, can you just use what's out of the Amazon product description? I would not, no. The short answer would be no. I should just say no and then move on, but no. So what you could do is you could actually, if you were an Alliance member, you come into the product review section and it says, what is the product? You'd put in the product name. What is the product best for? You just describe what the biggest benefit is. Why do you love it? Here, what I would do is copy and paste something out of the product description and put it here. What else should people know? I would copy and paste something out of the, again, product description that's more specific details and post it here. And then when you hit generate, it'll actually generate a full product review following the exact formula that works, that I do, that you see on LuxList. And this is what all of the writers on LuxList are using for publishing, on LuxList that are Alliance members. So if you're an Alliance member and you have access to this, just use this. If you're not an Alliance member, what you could do is you could go into templates, and these are now all templates that are accessible to all people. And if for some people don't even understand what the heck Jasper even is, because maybe you haven't made it through certification or whatever yet, you can actually come here. So you go to tryjasper.ai, and this will give you access to all this. So what you could do is you can come in here, and then there's a section. I don't really use the general templates to everybody, because I build my own and then I build my own, and my own templates use like several stacked templates that they have for everyone else, and then using custom coding to like make it exactly the outputs that I want. So, but what you could do is you could click on Content Improver, and you could take a piece of content. So this is where you could copy and paste something from the product description on Amazon, and you paste it in here, and you could change the tone of voice. You could say funny, serious. Let's say you're doing a cooking product and you would like the tone of voice to be like Gordon Ramsay. You could put in Gordon Ramsay, and you hit generate, and it will basically take the paragraph that you put in, and it'll reword it and rephrase it using a totally different tone of voice. And that's what I would use on your blog. So if you, so I guess you could go one of two ways. If you're not in the Alliance, you could just go to tryjasper.ai and then use their built-in templates. If you are in the Alliance, let me set you up with enterprise access where it's on me, like I'm paying for it for you. And then you'll get unlimited access to Jasper, and you get unlimited access to the templates that I've created for you. So good question. Ben says, your thoughts on content at scale. If you could, Ben, go a little bit more specifics on what you mean by that. Are you meaning like, what are my thoughts on like publishing? Well, actually, if you could be a little more specific on that, Ben, I would love to answer that question, because I feel like that's a really good question. If that's the name of a course or a product though, I'm not familiar with it. Ali says, what you showed with Brightside last week, like clickbait type images to increase traffic, work no matter how serious a topic like holistic health? 1000%. Great question, by the way, Ali. And for those of you who don't know what Ali is referring to, so I talked about there's a blog out there on Facebook called Brightside, and if you go look at their stories that they post on Facebook, like their Facebook stories, it'd be equivalent to TikTok videos or YouTube or whatever. On their stories, they use this like picture, like two pictures stacked on top of each other, and it's super intriguing to make you want to click to see more. That works on any industry, not just like very clickbaity type of images. So for holistic health, I would just come up with images that would be like two images that would be super interesting for someone to like wrap their mind around and just want to click to see more. And you know what? I'll even use some examples of this. I'll show live examples when we get to the simplify section. Actually, no, not the simplify section, the magnify. So day 4, we're going to be talking about magnify. And day 4 on magnify is where I'm going to show, after you have blog posts out there, what are some things you can do to magnify and get more people coming to your blog post, and instead of just waiting for Google. So I'm going to touch on a bunch of like quick wins and big wins that you can get, like that, for example, what I talked about with Brightside, and I will do a training, like a mini training on that on day 4. So that's Thursday this week. So good question, by the way. Okay, let's go back here. Louise says, where can I get a replay of this? So if you go into Ambassador and go to the calendar and you click on past events, you'll be able to see all the past events, and you can see the replays there. Otherwise, if you're on YouTube right now and you're watching this live on YouTube, bookmark this page you're on right now where this video is lying, which I imagine you are on YouTube, because that's the only way to talk in the live chat is to be on YouTube. So bookmark the page you're on where you're watching me right now with the live chat. And then as soon as this live stream is over, the video is immediately playable. So you can like go back and start it all over. Like that's why I love using YouTube, is not just the live chat, but also that the video quality is great and it's immediately playable whenever we're done. Mariah says, I love Jasper. Me too. If you love Jasper, then you love AI, because then that means you like using AI to get things done faster for you without much brain power. You're going to be blown away with all the new tools that I'm learning about right now, that I'm going to be teaching throughout the year. Laura says, do we have to put on our blog that we get a commission from sales? I do recommend doing that. So if you go to LuxList and then take a look at any of the articles there, take a look at any of the sentences that are talking about getting where we get compensated in a commission, then I would just copy and paste that into Jasper and then like reword the paragraph or you can reword it manually yourself. And there's big blogs out there that don't use those type of disclaimers, and they get away just fine. So should you use it? I would recommend, so you can sleep at night and you don't wake up one day and all of a sudden your Amazon account's been shut down because, whatever. But I've never heard of anyone that has been shut down because they don't have descriptions on their page, but I put them up there just to be safe. So sorry, let me get a drink of water real quick. Okay. Joanne says, by the way, I'm going to answer about 3 more questions and then I'm going to get going because the doctor at the vet said they should be calling about 3 p.m. my time. It's 2:40 and I need to check on my wife because again, she was not doing well emotionally before I went live because of the news we got from our dog. So I need to check on her and everything and be ready for the call from the doctor around 3. So I'm going to answer this couple more questions, then we'll get going. When you introduce new AI tools for Ambassador, will there be recipes for making full Amazon product posts like you just showed? So when I show new AI tools, there's not going to be an AI tool I show that replaces Jasper. So Jasper is going to be the best tool you could possibly use for writing copy, like product reviews and things like that. And people say, well, what about Chat GPT-3 and all this kind of stuff? So I can go into a whole debate about that, but I won't. I'll just explain right now. Jasper is, imagine a sandwich, okay? So, or a hamburger or cheeseburger or whatever, where there's a bun on the bottom, a bun on the top and bottom bun, and there's all these layers in the middle. So Chat GPT would be like one layer of like putting in a prompt and then it getting a response out, or you getting a response, an output. That's one layer. So Jasper, the way Jasper works is that they have there's Chat GPT as the ground layer, but they have like several other layers of other AI technologies that stack on top of Chat GPT to give you the best output imaginable. And then the top and bottom is the whole hamburger itself. That is Jasper. So as far as like what you're talking about with product reviews and stuff, or Amazon product post, Jasper is going to be the best thing for that. And then for recipes, there's no really recipe that I have on doing it. It's just when you're an Alliance member, you just get to use the templates that I've custom coded inside of Jasper to be able to use for yourself. You don't have to use those, by the way, just for Luxless. You can use them for whatever you want to use them for. And then for the other tools I'm going to be teaching though and showing you, though, those are going to be other things you can do, like with making custom images and all that kind of stuff. I'm just going through to see if there's any other things that I can. Ben says they claim they can defeat AI detection. So here's the thing about AI detection. There's a lot of people that are nervous about AI and then saying that things aren't going, like, you're going to get penalized for using AI content and stuff like that. And Google's going to like penalize you and all that. So I don't believe that, by the way. And most people don't, because the only people that believe that you're going to get penalized are the people that are making articles and videos saying you're going to get penalized, because it's clickbait. They're creating something controversial that's going to get people to talk and share their articles and all that. So here's the thing. Google is only worried about one thing and one thing only, and that is providing the best possible content and results to someone that is on Google searching for something. That's it. Like, sorry, that could have been a bit longer sentence or a shorter sentence. But so if I'm looking for best fly fishing poles for my daughter, and if there's an article that is like, here are the best fly fishing poles for daughters, and it is like, whether it's written by a human or AI or what, if that is truly giving someone the best experience possible, best experience possible, meaning someone types that in Google, they go to that article and they don't click back to go to Google search, because Google can see all that, by the way. Google can see if someone clicks on a listing or clicks on a search result, goes to an article, and then comes back to Google. They can see if that happened. And if that happens, and a lot of people are doing that on an article, it means the article sucks, or there's too many ads on the article, too many pop-ups, or the article's loading slowly. Maybe there's an image that's like this big at the top of the article, and they're like, this isn't what I wanted. And as soon as you hit back, you're going to get, the person that wrote that article is going to get penalized, and because you're basically telling Google that your article is not relevant for what they're searching for. So if you follow all the stuff that I'm teaching inside Ambassador on writing articles that are like hyper engaging by giving people exactly what they want when they want it, that is going to be, you're giving Google all the signals that you have an article that people are not bouncing back to because it's not what they wanted. But not only that, but they spend time scrolling down on your article, because Google can actually see the scroll depth on how far people scroll down an article. And when they see all that and they see people are scrolling down, they're interacting with your article, they're clicking to expand frequently asked question boxes, they're getting into your article. It doesn't matter if it's written by AI or not. You've provided the best experience for someone because they're not clicking back and they're not leaving your article and going somewhere else very quickly. So that's my argument with it, is as long as you, and I'll tell you, I've been writing AI content for a very long time, since Jasper was in beta 2 names ago. Like before Jasper, it was called Jarvis. Before Jarvis, it was called Conversion AI. And I was using it when it was Conversion AI in beta, like a long time ago. I've got a whole bunch of articles out there, 100% written by AI, not one issue that I've had personally. And they're all rising up in the ranks. So me speaking personally, no issues at all. So when you see people saying, oh, you should use this tool because it defeats AI detection or whatever, that is all just, to me, that's smoke and mirrors to try to get you to pay more for something that at the end of the day is probably not even really relevant. So anyway, that's my little thing on that. So that is, that's what I got. So that's all I got for today. Sorry we went on for so long. Looks like we're a little over 2 hours. I want to try to keep these, since I'm doing these every single day, all this week, I want to try to keep them under 90 minutes if possible, because I don't want to take up too much of your time this week. But hopefully this was helpful. And just to do a final recap of everything that we covered, let me scroll up. We covered a lot. So to give you a recap, we have talked about, sorry, I got the Jasper thing up there. Oh, and by the way, I saw people were asking about what was a link for the Alliance thing. Again, it's ambassadoralliance.com. But what we covered today was day 1, which is just to identify like why you're even here today, and like what's your one goal that you want to set this year that is realistic, that you can realistically accomplish, and not something that's so far-fetched that's like, I want to make $700,000 by the end of the year. Like, I mean, you might want to play the lottery. Like, it's just things like that are totally unrealistic. Like, just set yourself, like, when I say realistic, like how much, if you still have a full-time job, thinking about like, how much are you making right now? If your goal is to quit your job, well, then realistically, how much do you need to cover bills, expenses, and then be able to have a little bit of fun on the side? Like, start there. And then that's realistic. So anyway, we talked about, today was all about identifying and understanding the fortunate reality. We talked about what your goal was for last year. We talked about what is your goal this year. I talked about the truth about money, and then how literally money solves everything for you. It helps get you out of problems. It gives you food, water, housing, shelter, cars, clothes, shoes. Sorry, I put in shoes. So I only had shoes in there once. Vacations, connections, opportunities, freedom. We talked about like how much money should you really have, because everybody's different, right? How much money I need is very different than someone that lives in like Los Angeles or anything like that. And then we talked about your money goal this year. We talked about my goal for this challenge is to help you reach your goal, which is to obviously give you a very simple blueprint and a plan and a treasure map to get from where you're at right now to accomplishing your goal by the end of the year. Talked about how I'm going to do it. I gave you your assignment, which is to go into Ambassador, go to the accountability section, and go ahead and do a new post, just letting everyone know what your goal is. Recommend adding a little animated GIFs because it's fun, and I'm a big fan of sharing your emotions and everything like that. Cash rewards, I'm going to pick 3 ambassadors that took the time to share their money goal they want to accomplish by the end of the year, and then also just follow the example format that I shared with the little animated GIF. So I'll give that award out tomorrow. And then the news, I talked about the AMBSDRalliance.com opened back up because we had a couple people that they did a 3-month contract whenever we first started. They opened up the Alliance, and then they didn't renew because they got what they needed. And then so we have a couple spots opened up. So I never talk about the Alliance unless spots have opened up. So spots have opened up. So I probably spent a little more time than I should have on the Alliance, but I'm super into it because it is truly the only way to get like direct access to me and then be like so far ahead of everybody else because of all the one-on-one help you're going to get and all the benefits. I mean, you get, the live chat, the software, you get the coaching, the meetings, the roundtable, the courses, the syndicate. I mean, everything. So I'm not going to go into all that now. You know what it is. So, and we did some live Q&A. So my friends, that wrapped up day one, which is crazy. That was a long day so far. So what we're going to do is tomorrow is going to be day two. And the whole day tomorrow is about clarifying your goal and really like just getting down to business on what it is that we're going to be doing. And I'm not even going to talk about day 3, 4, and 5. Let's just focus on one day at a time. So if you can show up tomorrow for day 2, which is clarify, same time, same place. Well, not same time. It's Tuesday. Tomorrow's Tuesday, not Monday, but same time, same place. And if you can, please take a couple seconds out of your day. If you can, say a prayer for my dogs. That both of my dogs come out just fine, and we don't have any, crazy things that's going to happen the next, few days or whatever. Because that would definitely throw off my whole vibe for the rest of the 5-day challenge. If God forbid something happened to one of my dogs or both of my dogs. So, a lot going on in the Luck household. So that's what we got for today. Thank you so much for coming. And then I will see you all tomorrow on day 2, which is where we talk about clarifying. I'll talk to you soon.